Okay, hello and welcome back to the Yellow House. This is Artistic Impressions with Michael, and this is on the Myra Mad channel. So, before we get started, if you like watching these videos, hit the like and subscribe button. Leave us a comment, let us know what you think, what you want to see us do. And we're going to do something that's a little late in the game, considering we got 5 or 6 of these videos under our belt already. We're going to show you equipment. Now, I did not bring my easel out today because, I'm lazy and didn't feel like wagging it out here. I have two. I have the portable French easel, which is the one y'all always see because we're always painting outside. But I do have a stand-up easel in the house. Now, there are a lot of other options available. You can get tabletop easels that sit right there conveniently on a tabletop. Or you can get the French easel. You can spend however much you want on a stand-up easel. Prices on them get way on up there. And there's another one of the herd. I just got one missing now. Sorry, I'm cat counting. Okay.
People like cats.
That's Vincent that just showed up there, by the way.
Is he missing an ear?
Not yet.
Not yet.
He may be missing a foot if you don't get it out of the bowl, though. But, alright, so, easel, that's actually pretty well, that's kind of an optional thing. I suppose you could oil paint with stuff laying flat. I haven't tried it, or you could prop it up against the wall, whatever you want to do with it. Next thing, essential, something to paint on. In this case, we've got stretched canvas. Now, you've got the options of wood panels, canvas panels, which we have used and we do like to use because I can get 3 of them for the same price I can get 2 of these. Except when I shop at Dick Blick or Hobby Lobby or Jerry's Artorama, when you can get 5 or 6 of them for about $10 a piece for a 5 or 6 pack, depending on the size. Not sponsored, but we could be. We like these places.
Give us a call.
I also have, this is my small portable solvent container. It's got a nice little rubber ring.
Like
nice
a corrugated, what is that, galvanized steel?
Stainless, I think.
Stainless, okay.
Now these are a little on the pricey side. I think this little one cost me like $15 or $16.
I like those locks.
I've got a larger one that I use in the house that holds a little more. And I guarantee, I have yet to see these. I sat and playing today and took my big one, turned it upside down, nothing leaking out of it, but it's sitting upside down completely. So, now I say these are a little expensive.
Where did you get these at?
I actually bought this one at Hobby Lobby. The bigger one I bought off of, I want to say I bought it off of eBay. I actually bought a Chinese import because it was cheaper. Because I couldn't go the 40 bucks that other places want for the larger container. So I did buy the larger one from China, and it was shipped from China. It took a while to get here, but it was worth, and the free shipping on that, shipping it from China was free. So it saved me a ton of money by shipping from China. Next, I have a box. I also picked this up at Hobby Lobby for about 15 bucks. It was on sale. It holds the rest of the equipment we need. It comes with a pallet. That actually was included. Now, in here I also have, if I could get this thing open, it's kind of hard to open since I stuck that back there, but I have a tube bringer in there. Not necessarily, maybe I can, oh, there we go. There we go, now I got it out. Tube bringer. Great toy. I haven't actually used, I think I've used this one maybe once or twice.
It looks like a torture device, but I think it's designed to squirt paint.
Yes, it will keep your tubes, keeps your paint squeezed up. Lid on that tube seen better days, but paint's still good.
Yeah.
Keeps your paint squeezed up in your tube, keeps you from wasting so much paint, and it keeps your paint fresher by keeping it all together. Don't skimp on one of these. Buy a metal one. Don't buy plastic. And don't buy the little plastic keys. I've tried them. Can't recommend them.
Good for toothpaste, not so much for paint.
Yeah. And this is wide enough. You can use it for toothpaste. You can use it for your bigger tubes of paint. Fit right in there.
That's just nifty.
And now palette. I like wood palettes. I have used paper palettes and I like those, but I've just here for the last year or so I've been using strictly wooden palettes, and I just like the feel of it. I like the sound of a knife scraping on a wood palette. I like the neutral color of the wood palette. I haven't really tried plastic or plexiglass. Now I do use plastic palettes for watercolor, but that's another show. With apologies to Alton Brown for stealing his line. I have seen plexiglass palettes. I don't know what I would think about using plexiglass palettes when I start scraping stuff. I just think that would be a god-awful sound and would probably drive me up the wall, whereas the wood, I can scrape my palette knife across there and it doesn't annoy me, but I have a feeling that scraping a metal blade across a plexiglass palette would be fingernails on chalkboard time.
Yeah.
But considering Bob Ross used one, I always thought it was a pleasant sound when he was mixing paint, so who knows?
Or you could do like one of the ones that I did, and I think there's a life hack for it on our videos, of using old bottle caps and a round wooden plaque to glue them together, and then use the one in the middle to mix with. I don't know how that would work for you, but it could work for, I know it worked with a lot of my sculptures and all.
It might work. It probably work good with a water-based paint, but with an oil-based paint, it would probably stain the heck out of that plastic.
And might even, and with the solvents that you use, might react badly with the plastics.
That's true. I haven't really experimented too much with that, but then again, I don't want to get fumes all in the house when I'm painting in the house.
Yeah. You might come out with some psychedelics you didn't intend on.
Yeah, might come up with something new that would eventually be declared illegal. And I'm no chemist, and I don't want to start Breaking Bad down here at the Yellow House. We're going to just strictly stick with the studio of the South down here. Again, borrowing from Vincent, usually do. If you're going to borrow, steal from the best. Paint. Lots and lots of different options on brands, and I have several brands in here, and I like most of them. I've got Winsor Newton, I've got Lucas, I've got Van Gogh, Grumbacher, Daniel Smith, Lucas, Gamblin, Permalba, Grumbacher, a lot of Grumbacher. I think in the house I actually have some stuff by Shiva. As far as colors, you really only need a very few, and if you watched our last video, you know you need white, and I would suggest buying a large tube of white unless you're just starting out, and you can start out with a small tube. White, find you a good red. I think this right here, Grumbacher red, that was actually the first kind of red paint I ever tried. This is the second tube of it I've had. You need a white, red, yellow, and a blue, and there's several options on. And you may or may not want a black paint with it. You notice I have several others, but I just like experimenting with new colors of paint too. Now I've recently, I like all these paints actually. I haven't really run into any that I found just a bad choice, but I am slowly and steadily switching over to this Lucas brand because mainly I like the price.
Let's get a good look at that one.
I have a few tubes of it here.
And what is it about Lucas that you like?
Well, it's got a quick drying time. Oh, you know what? I even have a Bill Alexander brand paint here. And a Bob Ross brand paint here.
Ah, yes. The infamous Afro.
Yes, which he didn't like, but that's another story. I may tell that one of these days. He didn't like it, but he did it because it was cheap, though. And that was why he was trying to save money on the show, so he kept the Afro.
And then eventually it became iconic.
Yes.
Hello.
And here's Kid
And
Mad with us. But I'm switching to Lucas brand, I guess, for a couple of reasons. Main reason being the price. I can get Lucas. You can only get Lucas brand at 2 places. Technically speaking, only one, and that is through Jerry's Artorama. But you can get them on Amazon. But when you get them on Amazon, you're actually buying them from Jerry's Artorama. Now, I think also you can get them shipped from the UK or Germany somewhere on eBay, and it's actually, I think, even cheaper to do it that way. But I like Jerry's. Great prices. I wish Blick would carry them, but you know, I get them where I can get them.
Or Hobby Lobby or something.
Yeah. You know, I've heard that Hobby Lobby's recently quit carrying the Bob Ross brand stuff, and you know, I mean, you might not think it, but the brushes, the paint, the only tube I've got is this Cad Yellow Light, and I think it's a pretty good paint.
Yeah.
Same with the Bill Alexander. It's a really, now if you like a really thick paint, Bill Alexander's a great brand. I like mine a little bit looser because I don't usually paint wet on wet. So I actually like a little thinner paint, a little more workable paint. So, and that's one thing I like about this Lucas brand. It's a lot more, it's a very workable paint. It's an artist quality paint. And I love the price. I don't have a price list with me, but I could go get a catalog and we could look at a price list if we had to. Alright, so paint. Permalba's also another really soft paint if you like a soft paint to work with. And Grumbacher Pre-Tested is a great paint. I used that for quite a while. Now, if you start painting and you like painting and you want to branch out and get a few more colors, hey, feel free. I've got
And these are all oils, aren't they?
Yes, that's usual. I do a little watercolor, but not much.
And there's what, like 3 or 4 different types of color. There's tempuras, which I think are egg-based, aren't they?
Egg-based. You got your acrylic. You got your oils, watercolor. And they do have an oil paint that is water-based. Don't ask me how they do that. I'm not a chemist. So I don't know how they do it. I don't know how workable they are, but I'm a traditionalist, so I stick with oil. And I didn't bring it out, but solvents, I use odorless mineral spirits. Now you can order, excuse me, I go to Walmart. I get the odorless mineral spirits from Walmart. You can get a gallon jug of it for like, I think it gets 129 ounces or so. $10.44. Hey, great price. It'll last me a while.
And what's that butter stuff that you were using?
Oh, yeah, right here. Another one of Lucas's products. Lucas Painting Medium number 5. Painting butter. I love the smell of this stuff. I don't use it in the house because it's not ventilated enough to
make it safe. But is it good stuff though?
I like it. I mean, we've used it on here on at least one video, and
that's the reason I thought about asking.
I've used it on 2 paintings.
Yeah.
One of which we did on this show. If you want to see brush strokes in your work, and you want to paint in a thick impasto style, you can't beat that stuff.
No, define impasto.
Impasto being, if you look at a Van Gogh painting and you see every single stroke he made, and you see the big ridges of paint, that is what I mean by painting impasto. Just, well, like this mud on my wall, which we'll talk about at some point. Van got stuck in the yard trying to get it backed up, threw mud on the wall. So if they would let you touch the paintings, you could feel
The individual brush strokes.
Yeah. And hopefully they wouldn't come off like this mud will my wall eventually if I ever get around to cleaning it.
Yeah, which is a problem I think with tempuras.
Well, I haven't worked with those since I was probably Peanut's age.
Yeah.
Who is not with us today, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But Kid Mad is with us over there.
Yep, I think she's trying to do something over there.
She's writing a note, it looks like, at the moment. All right.
I'm not writing a note, I'm drawing.
Oh, okay.
She's drawing.
I correct myself. She is drawing. And I am watching cats running around like cats.
Yeah.
It's feeding time here. All right.
Ah, the brushes.
Underneath here, brushes.
Tools of the trade.
I have, of course, I have a 1-inch Bob Ross brand brush, which I've said before and I'll say again, I like these Bob Ross brushes. They're worth the price.
And they're sturdy, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't used the 1-inch brush that much, but I have used I have both sizes of the fan brushes.
And these brushes all have different different strokes and stuff that you get off of them, wouldn't they?
Yeah. I have a big collection of palette knives.
Yeah, that would be another video altogether, demonstrating different brush strokes and what brushes do what.
Yeah.
That would be a good video in and of itself.
We'll have to but that would be another show.
Yeah.
Again, if you're gonna steal from the best.
Yeah.
Compass, I've used that one time, but I keep it. Just never know when I might want to draw a perfect circle for something.
Yeah.
But by the time I paint it, it ain't gonna be so.
Too bad you can't attach the brush to it.
You know what? I've got one in the house. I bet I could. It's got a pencil holder that I can attach to it. I bought that at Staples, actually. Or no, wait a minute, it's not Staples. What's the place down there by Toys R? It used to be Toys R Us at Jackson. Not Staples, is it?
No, it's Office.
Office Depot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought it at Office Depot. Sorry, Staples. I bought it at Office Depot. Now, if you're just starting out, I've got a boatload of brushes here that I've bought over the years.
Hey, Mike.
Before the break, we were talking about brushes. If you're just starting out, now if you want to make brushes, I suggest at least a 1-inch, maybe a 1.5 inch. Get a good brush. Don't skimp on your brushes. Don't buy cheap brushes if you're going to paint. Now you might start out with a cheaper brush, and if you like it, spend a little money and get the best brush you can afford. I mean, I try to save money and get the cheapest I can get too, but try to get the best quality brushes you can get. And I really do have to recommend these Bob Ross brushes.
It might be added that sometimes the most money isn't always the best quality.
That's true too. I've got some brushes that I bought at hardware stores and Walmart and everywhere else. You know, just I see a brush, hey, I need that. A lot of this stuff come from Blick. Some of it came from Hobby Lobby. Some of it from Jerry's Artorama. Now, I do have a Bob Ross liner brush. I don't have it out here. I didn't bring it. I do have a line. Bare minimum brushes. I would suggest at least a 1-inch, nice 1-inch brush. Maybe a fan brush. The size is up to you. I've got 3 or 4 different sizes here. So,
and what can the fan brushes do?
well, if you're Bob Ross, they make great trees, grass. I use them sometimes on a portrait when I'm doing like a mustache or. Now for hair, that's another matter entirely. We'll discuss that in a video at some point. I would definitely suggest, if I can find it, getting some filbert brushes. They're rounded at the top, make a great variety. You get them in several different sizes. Get you a lot. Some of my larger ones, I think, are in the. I do have a larger one out here. I got a pretty big one right there. And this is one of my smaller ones. But I found them to be really useful, especially the smaller ones, because you can make a wide stroke, you can make a narrow stroke with it, so they're really versatile. I suggest a few flat brushes. That's what I generally use for doing hair. Again, that's another video. I have found that I like, myself, I do like these angular shaders. That's kind of an optional brush you can get, but to me they come in pretty useful. If I'm trying to paint a circle, I can actually for some reason do a better circle using this brush than I can a flat or a round or here's my liner brush. Last time we tried to do a video and I was trying to sign a painting, I didn't have a decent liner brush in the box because I had them all cleaned and drying and I forgot to pack one. But now I've got one I keep in here all the time. Definitely one of those for detail work and for signing. Round brushes. They're alright. If you like them, hey, go for them. This doesn't look to be in the best shape. See, I've got these in all sorts of sizes. Find a big one. I got a big one here somewhere. There's a big one. You can get a better idea of the shape. It's got a nice. They do come in handy. I use them occasionally, but not as often as I thought I would. If you like to just make little dots, and if you want to do some pointillist work, this would be a good, well, the small ones would be. Now, if you're going to do a big canvas, like a
floor mount or something.
Well, I'm trying to think of the artist's name. Drew a blank on him. Surratt, there we go. If you want to do a big painting like Surratt, you probably need these big brushes to make bigger dots, but because frankly, to me, pointillist paintings work a lot better on a big surface than they do the smaller surfaces I use. Don't ask me where I got that brush at, but I have found that if I put a lot of paint on that, it does do pretty good for painting big masses of leaves. I don't know what in the heck you would call that. It's big though.
Yeah, almost looks like a big shaving brush.
You know, I need a new shaving brush actually. But I don't know that I'd want to use this because I'd probably end up with more paint on myself than I usually get on. I think I've deleted that photo since, but I think I sent it to some people on there if they want to include it. I had a big spot of paint right on top of my head. Let's say, other stuff you need, some linseed oil, and in this case, you can use the stuff you get at Walmart, but I wouldn't suggest it if you're trying to do some serious painting. If you're just starting out, it's cheap and you can get it and use it. But if you decide to take it up seriously, spend a little money and get a good quality linseed oil. And you use that if you want to thin down your paint some. And we've talked about palettes, we've talked about brushes, and there's several different kinds of mediums you can start using if you really get into this and you want to spend some money. Now, we haven't talked about palette knives. I've left my favorite knives. I think I've actually left in the house, but nah, this is a good brush. There are people that paint with palette knives. I've never tried a palette knife painting, and I may try it at some point, and we may do a video if I decide to do it. If you want to do an impasto, this is the way, not necessarily this particular knife, but I do have some knives that would be good for doing impasto work. I
think I've seen Jim Ross use those a few times.
Jim Ross?
Not Jim Ross.
I don't know if
Jim Ross, the guy from wrestling.
Now
Bob Ross.
I do have both sizes of the Bob Ross palette knife, which looks something like this one. But this one is with the bent handle. It's more designed for mixing paint than it would be for
doing the trees and stuff that he was doing.
Yeah, this one's kind of flexible, and you can use this for painting, scraping. I've got a trowel shaped one. Again, I left it in the house. It's pretty large. If you want to do some serious impastos, invest in a few palette knives. I've got some of these like this one. I haven't even used this one yet. It's waiting for me to figure out what to use it for. I guess if I want to make a big round spot on something, that might work. We've covered brushes, canvas. What subjects have we not? We haven't covered subjects. Subjects, whatever you want to paint.
Mm-hmm. And canvases. Now you've got the canvas there. These are stretched, but you can also get panels.
Panels, yeah.
I think we covered that one.
If you're just starting, I'd suggest going with the panels because you can get 3 of those for the price you get 1 or 2 stretch canvases for.
And you wouldn't believe the things people have actually done paintings on. I've seen people do these on saws and everything else.
Yeah, if you're into folk art, I mean saw blades, and I've seen some great stuff done on saw blades, and whatever else, people in the South paint on. They'll paint on just about anything if it'll stand still. And I've got no problem with that. I've never tried it myself, but I'm pretty much traditional when I go about doing stuff. What else do I use? Now I do have a maul stick in the house. I think y'all may have seen me use that once or twice. The one I have is expandable. It folds up and it fit conveniently in my box if I actually put it in there, or in my French easel if I decide to take it. Now the one I've got it's got a rubber tip, and this will explain the story of the paint on my head. If you want to attach, I think you have a copy of that picture. If you want to attach that picture later on.
If I can find it, yeah.
If not, I think I can find where I sent it to you. I'm not going to put paint on my head and send another picture to you. But,
sorry, that was so funny.
But I do think I sent that to you on Facebook, and if I did, you should have access to it. I know I sent it to somebody. I'm probably sent it to you because I think you asked what the deal was.
Yeah, I think I suggested that you ought to finish the landscape.
Yeah. I finished painting my hair back in. At least it was the right color for what my hair used to be. I really drifted off of what we were talking about, didn't I?
Okay, one more question. When you're going out to paint...
we were talking about maul sticks. I'll get back to that.
Yeah. The hat. I mean, do you want something that's going to keep the sun out of your eyes?
I suggest it.
No.
That's optional because I don't want to wear sunglasses and try to paint because...
Yeah.
It just,
for obvious reasons.
Yeah. I'll give you an example. Claude Monet, they say his later paintings weren't as good as his first paintings because later in life he had to have multiple cataract surgeries, and he took to wearing tinted glasses, and they say that affected his use of color.
Yeah.
So I wear a hat.
Yeah.
I usually wear a big broad. Well, I usually wear this hat. I have worn a cap. I could try it with sunglasses and see what happens, but I know me, I would be trying to put sunglasses on and off and on over glasses is just a waste of time. Now back to maul sticks. Yeah, the one I've got, it's okay, but a rubber tip maul stick, if you're trying to keep steady, rubber does okay, but it will slip. And that's what caused me to get paint on my head. Because I had it braced. I'm going to use your cane as an example. I had it braced on my easel. And when I leaned on it, and it actually slipped and caused me to make instead of a little delicate stroke, I made a big stroke, which annoys me and makes me... And then I wasn't wearing a cap in the house, and I think I ended up hitting my head in disgust and had a big mark on my head, which we'll see if we can find a picture and send you a picture. Now, I am down the road at some point going to buy a new one, which oddly enough would be about this size. It'll have this through Jerry's Artorama. Last time I looked, they were on sale for $15, good price. Normally $24 at Jerry's. And the regular price is a little more than that. About 30. So good savings. And it has a detachable section which if you need something shorter working on a smaller canvas. And the head is covered with leather, which is, well, I see the hole herd is here. Okay, which is a lot better for non-slip when you're working on a canvas.
Yeah.
I think might have been Rembrandt actually painted a picture of himself with his maul stick. So Rembrandt, I think he was the original selfie king before Van Gogh, I think, took that title.
Yeah. Now, how long ago was Rembrandt? What, the 18?
Oh, he was before that. Because Van Gogh was
Van Gogh was like late 1800s.
Yeah, 18. Yeah, he was in the late 1800s.
Rembrandt was what, 1600s?
Yes, yeah, I think so.
Baroque era stuff.
I would have to look him up to see, but
Van Gogh was in the somewhere.
Van Gogh was in the late he painted in the late 1800s. Oddly enough, his mother outlived, I believe, if not all, most of her kids. Because after Theo's wife started collecting all of Vincent's work and letters, there was an interview with his mother later on in life, but I don't really have any major details about that. I think she actually died, I want to say something for around 1920. And we were really drifting into art history lessons here, but I guess there's nothing wrong with that, learning a little bit.
Well, the thing is sometimes it's best to know the origin behind different pieces of equipment.
I say, and we've talked about solvents, we've talked about mediums, we talked about paint, we've talked about brushes, canvas, easels. Is there anything we haven't covered as far
I can't think of anything.
Subjects? Like I said, step out your front door, look around.
I mean, it's a beautiful fall afternoon in West Tennessee.
And even if you're in a city, step outside, paint a cityscape. I've seen a lot of cityscapes. Van Gogh painted a lot of cityscapes. Paris, Arles, which Arles wasn't really I don't really know how big a town that place is, but I know he painted a lot of scenes, you know, just of his house.
And sometimes you don't even need any subject matter if you're like Picasso.
That's true. If you want to paint a portrait, find a mirror, you got a subject right there to paint.
Yeah.
Well, I hope they recognize the house next time they come by. Sunday. That is what we call down here a Sunday driver.
Yep. They're so slow that old ladies pass them on the road and they're not even in a car.
We'll probably pass them on the way to work tomorrow.
Oh, they're still going to be about a mile down the road?
Yeah, we might make it to work on time if we... all right, well, art history. Subject matter, people, yourself, outside, whatever. Find a picture on the internet.
Collections of objects of still lifes.
Yep. Put some stuff together. They don't necessarily have to... I guess it's better if they're somewhat related. I think that's a general quote-unquote rule, but I guess that rule could be broken. They are made to be broken.
Because
I may try a disjointed still life sometime. Most of mine so far have been kind of things that go together, a lamp and books.
I think it would be an interesting still life. Your wind chime.
Wind chime? Wind chime with what? Wind chime with... We could put some weird stuff together and do a wind chime. We could do that. Wind chime with what, though? I have to figure that one out. All right. Are we at thus endeth the lesson, or are we?
I can't think of anything else if you can't.
I can't think of anything now. If I do, I'll ramble on about it next time we do a video.
Yep. I'm hoping next time maybe we'll get a chance to maybe do something on brush strokes and what each one does. That would be an interesting video in and of itself.
Yeah, we talked about doing that. And we'd probably play with a palette knife some too.
Yeah.
And eventually, I'm eventually planning on buying a good, not saying the one I've got isn't good, but a better maul stick than the one I have, and we can... Now, if you like the Bill Alexander method, he's got that big palette. He actually braces on his palette to...
He's got a big hefty palette, don't he?
Yeah, I actually have one I use in the house, but right now it's got paint all over it because I'm working on something. That's something we could do. That's another video we could do sometime. Show some of the stuff we haven't actually painted on here.
Yeah.
We'll show some of them.
Yeah. And yeah, we understand you did well at the fair this year.
Yeah, I entered 6, wasn't it? Yeah, 6, and I brought home 6 ribbons, made a few dollars. It was enough for gas money, so didn't get to blow it on paint or anything, but at least I had gas to get to work for another week.
Next year, we both resolved to go for the purple ribbon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seconds.
Huh?
47 seconds.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess in that case, if we're down short on time, I'm Michael. This has been Artistic Impressions with Michael on the Myra Mad channel. Again, hit the like button, subscribe. Let us know what you think in the comments.
Yep, and all of his information and ours will be in the description below. Thanks for watching, and God bless.